The Dossier Report. Open up your mind. A Texas team comes up with a C19. I say the googly moogly that could be a global game changer. A googly moogly, a vax authorized in December for use in India may help solve one of the most vexing problems in global public health. How to supply lower income countries with the C19 vax that is safe, effective, and affordable. The vax is called CORBEVAX. It uses old but proven vax technology and could be manufactured far more easily than most, if not all, of the C19 vax in use today. CORBEVAX is a game changer, says Dr. Keith Martin, Executive Director of the Consortium of Universities for Global Health in Washington, D.C. It's going to enable countries around the world, particularly low-income countries, to be able to produce these vax and distribute them in a way that's going to be affordable, effective, and safe. The story of CORBEVAX begins some 2 decades ago. Peter Hotez and Maria Elena Battazzi were medical researchers at George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where they worked on vax and treatments for what are called neglected tropical diseases such as schistosomiasis and hookworm. When a strand of Rona known as SARS broke out in 2003, they decided to tackle that disease. After moving to Houston to affiliate with Baylor College of Medicine and the Texas Children's Center for Vax Development, they created a googly moogly candidate using protein subunit technology. This involves using proteins from a virus or bacterium that can induce an immune response but not cause disease. It's the same technology as the hepatitis B vaccine that's been around for decades, Hotez says. Their SARS vax candidate looked promising, but then the SARS outbreak petered out. No evidence of disease, no need for a vax. When a new strand of Rona triggered the C19 pandemic, Hotez and Battazzi figured they could dust off their old technology and modify it for use against the C19. After all, the virus causing C19 and the virus causing SARS are quite similar. Hotez says they tried to interest government officials in the vax, but they weren't impressed. People were so fixated on innovation that nobody thought, hey, maybe we could use a low-cost, durable, easy breezy vax that can vax the whole world, Hotez says. We really honestly couldn't get any traction in the U.S., but our mission is always to enable technologies for low and middle income countries, productions, and use. Battazzi recalls. So they turned to private philanthropies. A major donor early on was the JPB Foundation in New York. The rest were all Texas philanthropies. The Kleberg Foundation, the John S. Dunn Foundation, Tito's Vodka. Hotez says the MD Anderson Foundation also chipped in. When people say, why did we move from Washington, D.C. to Texas? Well, we knew that this was a great philanthropic environment, so this is a really very much a Texas vax, although there were other smaller donors from all over the country. Hotez says that unlike the mRNA vax from Pfizer, from PF and Derna, and the viral vector vax from JJ, protein subunit vax like CORBEVAX have a track record, so he and Battazzi were relatively certain CORBEVAX would be safe and effective, and it's cheap. $1.50 a dose, Hotez says. You're not going to get less expensive than that. Clinical trials showed they were right to be confident CORBEVAX would work. An unpublished study conducted in India involving 3,000 volunteers found the vax to be 90% effective in preventing disease caused by the original C19 virus strain, and 80% against the D variant. It's still being tested against the Omicron, but CORBEVAX is already entering the real world. Last month, the vax received emergency use authorization from regulators in India. An Indian vax manufacturer called Biological ELTD is now making the vax. The company says it is producing 100 million doses per month and has already sold 300 million doses to the Indian government. The real beauty of the CORBEVAX that doctors Hotez and Botazi created is that intellectual property of this vax will be available to everybody. Keith Martin says, so you can get manufacturers in Senegal and South Africa and Latin America to be able to produce the particular vax. By contrast, the makers of the PF and Moderna, for example, are not sharing their recipe. One drawback to the CORBEVAX technology is that it can't be modified as quickly as mRNA vax can do adjust to new variants. That forces public health officials to make difficult choices. Something which can be adapted the fastest versus something that can be adapted relatively quickly, but then more importantly, can be manufactured at a large global capacity and at a cost of production which is much lower, says Prashant Yadav, senior fellow at the Center for Global Development in Washington, D.C. The thought is some protection may be better than no protection. Of course, the ideal vax would have both qualities, and Hotez is at work trying to develop technologies that can do that. There's no issue with pushing innovation, he says. I think that's one of the really positive features of the U.S. vax program for the C-19. The problem was it wasn't balanced with the portfolio or oldies but goodies. Hotez is hoping this oldie but goodie will usher in a brighter future for the world. So they've been working on this for a long time. So my question to you is, to the people, if they had something already and SARS is similar to this C-19, why not go with that tech? Why not go with that treatment? You know, this is the thing, man. It seemed like it's a lot of stuff that's fetchy to me. Now, people gonna be like, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist and all this. It's not about being a conspiracy theorist. It's about knowing what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. What's the truth, what's not the truth. That's what it is. You know, you can look at it any type of way that you want to. But to me, I believe, you know, this is all allegedly. I believe that they've been working on this thing for the I think they've been planning this. You know, I think they've been planning this. I think they're playing on our intelligence. You know, I really believe that they concoct this all together so they can make money. That's just how I feel, and I feel like they found a way. I mean, they found a way to control it. They found a way to control it, so now they can put it in the plan, like how they can spread it. And they've been spreading it. And now they're coming out with this variant. It's always something new. Next month it's going to be something different. So it's like, you know, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that this isn't real. I'm just saying that it's just very fishy to me how like all of this is coming to fruition. That's all I'm saying. It just seems very risky to me. And I think we ought to start asking questions on, you know, where did this really come from? Like, how did this come from? Everybody's saying, oh, it came from Asia, it came from this. You know, but to me, it's like this. I still don't understand why they signed the thing, why they signed the paper to say that, oh, well, you can't sue them if something bad happens to you. You know, you can't sue the doctor or anybody or the insurance company. So it's like, to me, it's just very weird. And I think we ought to look into it because they're coming out with all these other things. Like, what are we shooting in our body? They just said that some of this stuff came from, hold on. And then they're trying to give it to low income countries and different places. It's like, come on. Like, these are from neglected tropical diseases like schistosomiasis. I can't say that word right. So let me look that up. What is that? To me, what is that? Sorry about that, y'all. Throat kind of dry. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is a infection. Schistosomiasis is an infection caused by parasitic flatworms that live in freshwater in subtropical and tropical regions. May be dangerous or life-threatening. So they're using this and hookworms to come up with the CORBEVAX and all of that. Man, I'm telling you. You got to be careful. Got to ask questions. So, what are your thoughts on this? The people, I want to hear y'all thoughts. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you love what you hear, go to the description box. Hit that link in my Cash App. Go to the Cash App website. You'll see my Cash App. Just donate. You could donate $1. You could donate $1 million. Whatever you're willing to give, we accept. Thank you for listening. This is the Dazier Report, and we're signing off. Peace.